Good morning, everybody. Can everyone hear me okay? Everyone at the back? No, they didn't say yes. So, can anyone hear me at the back? Yeah? Okay, great. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. I just want to ask, first of all, who in the crowd is actually leading a team at the moment? Okay. And who has aspirations to lead a team? Okay. All right, perfect. All right. So, if you wouldn't have seen the title, we are looking at unlocking leadership. And is leadership right for everybody? And how do we go from an employee to a leader? So everyone loves a statistic. So I'm going to get started with a couple of statistics, okay? You see how I raise the titles up for you, okay? 82% of companies fail to get the right managerial talent. 82%. And here's another stat for you. Managers account for 70% variance in employee engagement. It isn't just about putting people on seats. It's about putting the right people on seats. It's not about filling those spaces. And unfortunately, we have to feel we don't go through the right process, and a lot of the time we don't even know the right process because it can vary from person to person. But hopefully today we'll be able to go through a few things and you'll get a bit better clarity. But there's three areas that I want to speak about. One, should they be a leader in the first place? Okay? That's the first question. Second, how can they become a great leader? How can you help them to become a great leader? So we've got leaders here, we've got people that want to become leaders, but we've also got HR people here that are part of that team to develop people to become leaders. And the last one, how can you prepare that person for leadership? So the first one we look at here is, should they have been a leader in the first place? And I say this because there's a question that we need to be asking is, why do you want to be a leader? This is why I'm asking people when they say, I want that responsibility. I want to do it. But what I tend to find, and this happens a lot, and maybe it will ring true, is that there's a lot of social pressure from family, from friends, from your peers, which is, oh, you're still just an employee. Why are you not leading a team? Why are you not managing? And they feel that pressure, and they ended up taking on a role and a responsibility that they're not ready for, they're not prepared for, and to be truthful, they didn't really want it in the first place. Because I think we can all agree here, and people that have got into leadership, what they thought it was is very, very different to what they actually got. And I've met so many people that wish they could go back and just do their normal job, which is come in, do their tasks, and leave. But what does leadership involve? Leadership involves getting people to where they need to be. You're driving them, you're motivating them, you're supporting them. And that comes with a lot of problems. Messages in the morning, I'm running late. Okay, I can't make it in today. All of these, if you've got a team of 10 people, all of a sudden you've got 10 more problems. And then you just wish I could go back to my normal job. That was a lot easier. So that's why I say that, is it right for everybody? Because, and we'll discuss this and we can talk about this, and please question me and challenge me, but I think we're going to come to a conclusion by the end of this. And if it is a yes, then there has to be something in place. And if it's a no, how do we retain that person without them still thinking that they need to keep going up the scale? Because that's a big problem. People are coming to you and they don't see any career growth. They're just plateauing out. And that's why they want this promotion. But it doesn't need to be that you're getting where you want from promotions. It's okay. So what I ask here is, what are the other options? And the reason why I ask, why do you want to lead? A lot of the time, it is because they want to have influence, along with more money in their pocket, okay? Let's not get away from that, okay? Promotions give a bit more money, okay? But they want to have more influence. But a title does not have to be the result. You don't get influence just from a title. There's a lot more that you can be doing, and that's why you have to have that conversation with that person. Now, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to say something, which is what their response would be, is when you say, hey, don't worry about the promotion, we'll give you more things to do. No one likes to hear that, do they? Without more money in their pocket. Can everyone still hear me okay? Yeah. So, what I also want to know is, if I'm going to be getting promotions, if I'm going to be promoted, who am I replacing? And what has happened before? Because if it's an existing promotion, existing role, or you are now going to be the guinea pig, okay? Oh, we're going to try this out. We're going to do a new position, a new role, we'll see how it goes. You then take your existing role and you go, yeah, I'll try it out. 3 months later, the company changes. Where are you going? You're not going back to where you were because you're too embarrassed. You can't go back to where you were. So a lot of the time, you end up leaving the business. When the truth is, you were happy where you were. Just a conversation had to happen. You had to have that communication and understand actually what you want from your day to day. And that's why job titles, they are amounted with a lot of skills. And those skills can be applied to many different positions. But you need to understand what that person wants to be doing each day, what you want to be doing each day. Because you might want to be leading, but you don't like the tasks that are involved. Or you might like to be leading, but you don't like the relationships that are involved. And that's a big problem. Because you're not turning up to work every day being your best self. I'm not saying you have to be happy. The company is not there to make you happy, okay? But you need to turn up and feel that what you're doing is giving you purpose each day. Do we agree with that? Yeah? Okay. So, and now I want to combine the next 2 points is how can you get them to be a great leader, and how can you prepare that person for leadership? I think the both are combined together. But these are the 3 topics. Is leadership right for you? Should you be in leadership first of all? And these 2 points here. Does anyone know who Julie Winkle-Guglielmi is? If I pronounced it right? No? Okay. I was listening to the radio and they just brought up this topic. And it really is that a promotion is a career change. Because you're going from things that you did before to completely new things. You've been promoted because of what you're doing. But like Marshall Goldsmith says, what got you here won't get you there. So you now have to get new skills. And it's tough. It's extremely tough because you've gone from being a top performer in what you were doing, which is why you've been recognized for a promotion, to now going back down to the bottom where you're like a duck out of water. You don't really know what's going on. And that's tough because we thrive off confidence. And when our confidence is low, and I always say this as well, don't judge people when things are good. Look at them when things are going bad. How can they overcome adversity? Have they got that tenacity? You see it all the time in sports jobs. There's this success, they have this run, and then they start losing some games, and all of a sudden that smile on their face completely goes. They start getting angry with the press. They start losing their patience. 6 months later, they're gone. So how can you be during those tough times? And that's what a company is looking for. And that's why I feel that when you get an opportunity, like what happened during COVID, where a lot of people were laid off, but you were given a promotion without salary increase, which would have happened to some of us, you are learning in the toughest time that there's ever existed. And there is where you talk, and there is where you actually have a story to tell. When everything's great, you just come into work and everything gets done. But when you've got those challenges, especially in HR, where you are the people's champions, okay? As I always say, and if you've seen me speak before, I always say, HR is the heartbeat of any business. Without HR, the company would not exist. You bring that emotion to it, that empathy to it. But I highly recommend reading this book if you've not, because promotions are yesterday. So yesterday. And what she talks about in this is, it's not always about going up. where can we spread and get better? Now, people don't see that as growth, but there's many roles across the business which you can learn, which will actually help you. Because there's nothing worse than somebody coming into the business, which is overlooking the business, and they don't know what that other team does. You want to have experienced that. And if you can get that experience, it's only going to help you for the future. But everyone wants something now. Yeah, we want it now. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, we have to be good storytellers. And we have to be able to persuade the team members and ourselves that it's good to stick where we are. Now, I see people leave businesses, they have growth, they amount to great things. I'm not denying that at all. But I also see that people have stayed, other people have messed up, and they've taken their role. So because they stayed, they got that position that they wanted. I had that. I left the company thinking I'll go on to better things. A month later, the guy's role that I wanted, he left, and I couldn't go back. But that's what I wanted. He was keeping it secret that he was leaving. Didn't bother to tell me. Thank you very much. So the question is, what is the gap between employee and leadership? Do we believe there's a gap? Skills, yeah? Now, the past 3 months, I've been very lucky to be working and interviewing and meeting up with the judges who will be at the CIPD Awards in December. And what that's built around is the recognition for HR people. And I wanted to meet the judges. I wanted to see their insights, what they were doing, and give people a kind of behind the scenes of what's happening. So I ended up meeting with Imran Ahmed, who's a CHRO of Jashanmal, and I told him about this thought that I have, that leadership isn't right for everybody, the social pressures, you got a promotion, everyone knows about it, it doesn't work, you end up leaving. You're embarrassed. So what he spoke about, and this is great because this is something that's implemented in a huge company, and this is how they work. What they do is promotion, but no announcement. So they take on the responsibility, they take on a new role, but there's no company spread email. Only the people that need to know. And what that does is, it gives people this live test environment, and that's so important. Same as me being up here today, okay? I can practice at home, I can practice in the mirror, and I can say these words. But it's when I get up here, my heart starts beating differently. My voice sounds different. So what you're doing is you're giving people this safe environment to see if the role is actually right for them. And they've got the responsibilities, and if for some reason it doesn't work out, they feel that they can go back to what they were doing, because who knew? But if it does work out, they get that promotion announcement. They then, I said, okay, well, when do they get paid, okay? And they said, well, they incentivize them. And I don't want to reveal too much about that, but there is some incentive for that. But I don't think there's anything better than being given that opportunity from the work you've done to see if this is actually right for you. And very rarely do you get that chance. So if you're wondering, how can we do that? Look at what Jashanmal are doing. They're making that happen within the business. And to sit with Imran and have that conversation. And he's been within HR for 20 plus years. And it's nice because he just doesn't look at numbers, he looks at the emotional side of it as well. Yeah? This is what I said in 10 minutes. I said I'd come back and say this is what the response is. Yeah? Yeah. And my favourite one, it's not my job. When you hear these things from people, it kind of gives you an insight into if they're going to be a great leader or not. Now, I'm not saying that a company shouldn't pay people and a person shouldn't give them loads of responsibilities. But how else are you meant to learn how to do the job in a real life situation unless you're going to be giving a little bit more than what you should? Every single day, I see this as an opportunity. Sometimes I take on free work. because I see that there's an opportunity within to meet people, to see people, and I know that for the future, I'm future-proofing myself. But everyone wants it now. Everyone demands it. It's all happening now, yeah? But this discussion, it's that persuasion that you have with the person where you acknowledge that, okay, this isn't your job, this isn't your role, but why do you want to be a leader? Where do you want to get to? Are you ready for that now? Are you not ready for it? Okay, well, what we're going to do is we are going to plan out a journey. Now, the trouble is, a lot of you have what you think is a journey, but a lot of the time it's the blind leading the blind. Again, it's a guinea pig. You're testing it out. But what does that roadmap look like to get someone to where they want to be? And that is something that will vary from business to business and how you want to do this. But really, it's being sat down with that person, removing the emotion, because they're saying, I want more money. My mum is telling me that you're not paying me enough. Yeah? But yeah, I should have had a promotion by now. They need to remove all the noise. And if you're that person that is the advisor, the trusted advisor, and you've got their best interests at heart, you can show them the blueprint of what it takes to get to where they want to be. Because the truth is, nothing is original anymore. Everything's just got a tweak to it, a slight improvement. But there's a blueprint, there's a roadmap, there's breadcrumbs that have been left out from others that we can get on the shoulders of and see the views that we want to see. So what plans you have to ensure that you can take them on this journey? And have you demonstrated this journey? Again, it's sitting with them, going through what that map looks like. Because they don't know, they're scared. And you may even say to the person, I think this role is right for you. And they go, no, I'm not sure, it's not right for me. And that's imposter syndrome. We all suffer with that. Yeah? We feel like we shouldn't be in that role, we don't have a right to be there. But you do. But it's just that you've not got the skills yet. Can you develop? Can you do qualification? Can you do real life scenarios? Yes. But what that person wants to know is, are you coachable? Because the person that says it's not my job and complains all the time, very rarely are they coachable. People say to me, like, how am I meant to get someone to help me? People will help you if they think that it's not just going to be talking to a brick wall. Some stuff has to go in. And it's not just about learning it, it's about applying it. Nothing worse than when I do my training, they get all amped up, they're so excited. 2 weeks later, I come back. What did we try? Oh, we didn't try anything. Well, how do you know if it worked? You promised me there was going to be accountability. None of it happened. How frustrating is that? Bringing in people to your business, you've taken your time, your effort to do this, and they've just gone back to how they were. Because even when people know it's not right for them, they stick with it because it's comfortable, rather than getting uncomfortable. But getting uncomfortable is where change happens. That's where growth takes place. So what does leadership mean to you? And as I mentioned, I've been lucky enough to meet with people in the last few years, sit down with people and ask questions to them. And I asked this question to Andrew Stotter Brooks. Anyone know who he is? No? What's that? I can't hear. Yeah. So he works with EDNOC, he's worked with Etihad Airways, he's got his company called Weird Science as well. You know, he speaks a lot about empathy. He's that human person that is a learning and development director. And I asked him this question, and what he said, look, I can't tell you what leadership is, okay? And what it means to me might be different from what it means to you. But what he speaks about quite clearly is, what type of leader are you? What type of leader do you want to be? What type of leader are you becoming? Because there's nothing worse than somebody being fake. The best thing you can be is authentic. Even if they don't like you, it's still who you are. And the worst thing is someone that they flip-flop. If somebody is a miserable boss, okay, I can accept that. If they're a miserable boss 24/7, I can deal with that. But there's nothing worse when Monday they're miserable, Tuesday they're happy, Wednesday they're miserable. I don't know what to deal with. Yeah? We've got managers like that. At least if they're miserable, you know where they stand, you know where you stand, and you can cope with that. And then there's nothing worse than somebody coming in being all friendly when you know they're not friendly people. They just want something from you. So that's why he says about self-awareness. When somebody is true to you, when somebody is upfront with you, at least you know that's what you're getting, and you're willing to accept that. Now, there's a question. To be a great leader, or to be a leader, is it better to be liked or respected? Everyone, yeah? Respected? Okay. Because we've got those friendly leaders that wants to be friends with everybody, that comes in, gives everyone high fives, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a friendly person, okay? But when it comes down to it, you need to be able to tell the people in your team to pull their socks up and get on with their work. And a lot of leaders don't want to do that because they've become so friendly. So there has to be that gap. So if you're getting into leadership because you want to be friends with people, unfortunately, you've got to do some tough things. And when I took on a leadership role, I got a promotion within the business. One of the first things I was meant to do was hire a new person who was meant to elevate the whole team. That person coming in was going to be the new status, was going to be the new level that we're going to reach. They came in, I planted my flag and said, this is the person. And he's actually one of my friends. And they were on a 6-month test environment, okay? And after 1 month, I knew it wasn't right. But I said, let me give him a chance. 2 months, I knew it wasn't right. 3 months, I was like, right, this is it. I'm sitting him down and I'm telling him. Now, we already had conversations. It wasn't like I only spoke to him in the 3rd month. But this was where reality hit. This is one of my good friends. I went to his wedding. I played golf with him. And now I'm sitting him down and I'm telling him he's no longer needed at the company. You know what his response was? Oh, thank God. At least one of us did it. I'm so pleased that you did. He's not wanted to be there for about 2 months. But if we would have had that conversation, we would have got down to things a lot quicker. Now, I'm still happy that I gave him that chance because, 1 month, 2 months, but 3 months, I think you can get a real idea, especially when the salary's high and there's demands. There's a lot of pressure. He was looking after the region. There's a lot for him to do. He just couldn't cope with it. And now he's gone on to bigger and better things. That was a learning for him. He realised that wasn't right, and he has a construction company. He has developments. He buys and sells properties. That's what he loves doing. He's got his own life now. So you have to be that harsh person that has to lay down the law. But the truth is, you might think people don't want it, but in the end, they will thank you for it. I've had a few team members that didn't like me at the time. But a few years later, they said that was the best thing that ever happened to them. Because they wanted to be held accountable. They wanted to be challenged. And I had no problem with doing that. But it was because we wanted to get somewhere. We knew where we had to get. We were here. And if we were going to stay the same, we'll never get to where we want to be. So change has to happen. So, is leadership for everyone? You think it is? Yeah. The point is, you don't need the title to be a leader. There's plenty of people that you can inspire, motivate, get the best out of, give your energy, give your intelligence, feed people with more, rather than expecting that you should get a big paycheck for it. Every single day I try to put out content to bring value to the community. When I first started doing that, my friend called me up and he said, "Are you okay?" Yeah? People question that. Why are you doing this? Because someone will see the video and it will inspire somebody to do something. I'm not getting any money for that, but that's who I am. That's what I love to do. And that's why I want to be in front of people here today to see if potentially I can save your job. Because you might be looking to be promoted because you've got the pressures. Is it right for you? If it is, amazing. Sit with the company, go on that journey, map out what the success looks like, and have those check-ins which need to be had. But if not, then work on being the best that you can be. Thank you very much.